The moment you have all been waiting for, I'm going to show you how I prep and prime and apply my acrylic to make them last forever. Okay, it's not forever, but it is a really long time. So fun fact, I'm actually afraid of the e-drill, so I take my regular hand file and I just go as close to my cuticle as possible, and basically I just file it down a little bit. My main goal when I do this is to get rid of all the little dead skin that's over there. I don't know if you can see it in this video, but I usually have a lot of dead skin, and so I'm just trying to file that away. And I go ahead and buff off all the shine from my nail. This is so important, and if you skip this step, or if you don't do this step very well, I'm telling you right now, your acrylics will not last. And this is for anything. This is for press-on nails. This is for gel nails, poly gel, all that stuff. You need to remove the shine, or else the acrylic and whatever you're trying to use will not bond to your natural nails. Also, when doing this, you don't want to get too crazy, okay? You want to still have your natural nail there, so don't get too crazy. But as you can see here, my nails are looking nice and dusty and crusty and musty, and that's what you want. I did go back in with my hand file. I don't know why I grabbed a different one, but I did go back in with my hand file to make sure that I got all that dead skin out of the way. Then I'm gonna take my little fluffy brush. It's actually a makeup brush, but I use it to take off all the dust from my nails. Another part, I forgot to put it in here, but you do want to use alcohol and wipe off all the dust from your nails as well, but I forgot to videotape that. But yeah, dust everything away, make sure there's no shine. Here we have the fun part. I have these nail forms, and they're actually pretty short. I didn't know how short they were, so what I'm doing is I'm just using 2 nail forms, sticking them together to get the length that I would like. And then just make sure, if you're putting 2 nail forms together, make sure that you line them all up evenly so that your nails will all be the same length. Unless you want different length, then that's okay. But yeah, then we're going to go ahead and taco style fold her like a taco. For this part, I lightly do it. I don't push down all the way. Oh, and I forgot to mention that little sticker that I placed in the middle. You don't have to do that, but I do it because I have flatter nails, and it just makes it more, I don't know, sturdy, I guess, and keeps the nail form from folding in, caving in. Anyway, then we're gonna line it up with my natural nail, and it's gonna slide under your natural nail. It kind of helps if you put it at an angle that kind of goes upward. Basically, you want to make sure that the nail form is centered with your actual nail, and then you also want to make sure that there's no gap between the nail form and your natural nail, or else the acrylic or whatever you are using is going to seep under, or like it's gonna go through there, and it's gonna create, you're just gonna have a gap. I don't even know how to explain it. Keep in mind, I'm not a nail tech. I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school for this, and everything I do is just, it's what I do for me. But I don't know if you can kind of tell, like here there's no gap, but when I let go there's a little gap. So I'm gonna kind of fix the nail form and place it a little higher up at an angle, and then that will help the gap situation. It did take me a while to learn how to use the nail form, so don't get frustrated if you can't get it right away. Like, trust me, it's been a year since I started doing my own nails, and I still have to play around with the nail forms from time to time. But yeah, so here's what it should look like, and then when I have it to how I want it to be, I go ahead and pinch the sides down. And for this set, I'm doing stiletto, so you're gonna put, how do I explain this? You're gonna pinch more at the top of the nail, or at the top of the nail form, to get that stiletto shape. You can see it better than how I'm trying to explain it. I'm also not the best at explaining things, so just follow along if you can. I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get my little monomer dish and my monomer ready to go. This is Mia's Secret monomer, and I got that little crown dish from Amazon, and I also got this brush from Amazon. It's a size 8. I'm using a smaller brush because I'm working with my non-dominant hand, so I like to work in smaller sections. And then I want to start off by getting all the air bubbles out of my brush, and then I let it sit on the side for a little while I prep my nails with these two bad boys. First step is a dehydrator, and if you look at the ingredients, it's literally just like alcohol and acetone, so you can actually make your own mixture of this. But since I got this with the primer, like it came as a set, I just use this dehydrator and this primer. Now, primer is so important. That's another thing that a lot of people skip, and you should not skip this step. But anyway, so I go ahead, I do this step after I do the nail form. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the nail dehydrator, and it basically just, you know, dehydrates your nail. It does as it does. And then for the nail prep, it's kind of like a sticky texture. I don't really know if you'll be able to really tell here, but it's a sticky texture, and I actually go ahead and do 2 layers of this. So like I'll put this first layer down, and then once I'm done with this, I wait and I let it kind of dry a little bit, and then I put another layer. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but that's just what works for me, especially because I'm doing such long, thick, heavy nails. But yeah, that's what I do. I do what I do. As for my acrylic, I'm going to be using this Neo Beauty acrylic. It's clear. He actually sent this over to me, and I just wanted to test it out in this video. I never used it before, so literally when you see me working with it in this video, it's the first time I ever tried it. And keep in mind that different acrylics have different textures and different ratios that you should use. Sometimes you need more monomer, sometimes you need less monomer. So it did take me a little bit to kind of get used to it, but usually I start, see, you can see it's like kind of runny and watery, but that's because I put too much monomer on my brush. And yeah, usually I start in the middle and I kind of bind my natural nail with the fake nail that's gonna go on the nail form. I also usually do my nails at a different angle, and I let gravity do the work. So I will add a clip in here where it shows how I usually hold my finger and brush and all that stuff, but this is just what it's gonna look like for now. I didn't know how else to really film this so that you guys could have a better look. I also wanted to note that you see how this did you see like all that dry acrylic? You don't really want that when you're doing your nails, but it happens to me from time to time. But yeah, so I work very slowly with my non-dominant hand, and I just kind of do this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I always work on the cuticle part of my nail, my actual natural nail bed last. But here is how I actually hold my nail and the angle that I work with. Oh my gosh, do you see that little my brush is falling apart? It's not falling apart, but there is a little bristle. No, where did the bristle go? Anyway, oh, I got it. But yeah, this is what I meant by I let gravity do the work, and you kind of just want to play with your acrylic to get to the shape that you want. Also, when I get to the top of the nail, I usually hold my nail at the opposite angle. It just let gravity do the work for you. That's all I can really say. But yeah, I just kind of play around with it, move things around, shape it to how I want it to be shaped. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you will be able to add more acrylic when you're done, or you'll be able to do a lot of shaping. And I actually really enjoy the shaping part of nails, so that's why I don't really care when it comes to here. But there she is. I literally just talked about a whole lot of nothing. Sorry, whoops. Anyway, so this is what it's kind of looking like. It's a bit bumpy. I don't really care. Then to take off the nail form, you're just gonna pinch, and then take it off slowly. I have broken the nail off before, like on the nail form, so be careful when you do this step. But yeah, that's what it's looking like. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start filing and shaping. I don't know if you can tell, but I actually messed up my middle finger, and I forgot to prep and prime it before I put the acrylic on, so I had to start over. That's why my middle finger is all short. But yeah, so I just go ahead, I use the hand drill. Like I said, I'm too afraid of the e-drill, and I just shape it with I think it's like 100/180 grit nail file. I also use this to get all up in the cuticle area. I usually take my time when I work on my cuticle or when I work with acrylic near my cuticle. That way I don't run into problems, because that is another thing that helps prevent lifting, is when you seal your cuticle area. However, because I don't use a e-drill, I kind of just use a hand drill, and I just have to make sure I get it right when I'm doing the acrylic. And then here are just like the different ways that I hold my nail. You want to make sure that you are what's the word support. You want to make sure you're supporting your nail on the opposite direction, or on the opposite side that you're drilling on. That's just so that you don't really like tug and pull and push on your natural nail. But yeah, nice and sharp. Look at her. Now for this next part, I did want to try out this brand new brush that I bought from Amazon. This one is also a size 8. However, it does look a little bigger than the other brush. As you can see like the little air bubbles coming out. You want to make sure you get all the air bubbles out, and then that's what I do. I like I don't know how, like I push it up against the bowl so that I can release some of the monomer, and then I kind of let it sit so that all the dry parts of the acrylic becomes wet. Girl, I don't know. This is just what I do, okay? But yeah, I did want to test out this brush because I've seen a lot of good reviews on it. This brush is a little more on the expensive side. I think it was like $30 something or so, but after using it in this video, I actually really like it. It doesn't really get super dirty. It's 100% Kolinsky hair, and yeah, sorry, the filming wasn't the bestest estes. At this point, I also got used to the acrylic, so as you can see, it's going on a lot better. I've also heard that you shouldn't drag your acrylic, you should be patting it. And when it comes to working with clear acrylic, it's a little different than working with colored acrylic in my opinion. Clear acrylic seems to set a lot faster than colored acrylic. I don't know, maybe I'm just not doing it right. But that's another reason why I work with such small beads with clear acrylic. But yeah, this is more of the process on how I just kind of let everything drag, droop, do its thing. Okay, here you can kind of see how I work with the acrylic, the cuticle area. Very steady, very steady. I place it a little further away from my cuticle so I can avoid flooding my cuticle. And then I go down and I push up in that area, and I kind of just this is what I do. I don't know, like I said, I'm not a real nail tech. I'm self-taught, and this is what works for me. I've never broken a nail before, so far it's working, girls. And here is what we're working with. This is what we are working with. As you can see, when I take off all the nail forms, the sides of my nails are very uneven and whatnot. Like I said, I just go in and hand file it down and everything like that. When I work with my dominant hand, this actually doesn't happen as much, but yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and shape it. It's actually very thin, so it's really easy to shape down and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Also, I forgot to mention, I don't know if I even included it in this video, but as you can see, like my nail, like the top of the nail is a little bumpy. I also go over with acrylic. Once I'm done filing everything down, I go over with another very thin layer of acrylic to fix that, and you'll see like at the end that it ends up looking good. I just trust the process, okay? Just trust it. Then these next few clips is basically just the different ways that I support my nails while I'm filing them down. Like I said, if you don't support your nail, you're just gonna be pulling against your natural nail, and I don't know, I feel like that's just not something you would want to do. Maybe you can do it, or maybe it's okay, but it doesn't feel pleasant. And then here's some more. I just kind of hold everything down. The main part to hold down is your natural nail, but yeah, it's, you know, shapey, do your thing, gotta do your thing. And here are the lovely girls after I shaped and filed them down. Oh, here's a little clip. I did include it. Okay, in this next clip I'm about to show you the little bumpies, and I did go ahead and fix it, but I didn't show me actually fixing like filling in the bumps with acrylic, but I did go ahead and do that. After I do that, I go ahead with oh my goodness gracious, I use my nail file and I I file down the top of my nails as well. And here you can see support. Don't forget to support your friends. But yeah, I just go in and I file down the entire top part of my nail. Now here's a little tricky part, or it's not super tricky, but when you go in with I go in with the buffer after this. When you go ahead and buff it down, you're gonna see like little chalky, how do I explain it? Like, hopefully you can see it in the video, but you'll see like little chalky spots that are uneven. And that's like one of the best things about the buffing process, is you can actually see what parts are still kind of bumpy. So I'll buff it down, and then you'll see the little part that's like still chalky looking. That means it's uneven. Then I go back in with the regular hand file and I just file that part down again, and then I go back with the buffer, buff it down to make sure that it is completely smooth, straight, all that even, all that good stuff. Remember how I told you to trust the process? Well, the results are almost here, friends. I'm also gonna post a video of me doing the design for this nail, but I'm gonna post it in a different video so that I don't bore you to death in a like hour-long video. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this kind of helps those who have been wondering. These nails literally last me like months if I want them to. But yeah, here's the results. I kind of want to keep them clear. I'm not going to keep them clear, but every time I get to this point, I'm like, ooh, I want to keep them clear. But yeah, ta-da!